New background light.
I like the color purple.
Hey everyone, Kenji here, and today we are going to be unboxing the 35.4 inch deep parabolic umbrella softbox, and I can't wait. So I've already unboxed this, and I was sent this from Mivitar to take a look at and give my honest opinion on. So what I want to do is I first want to show you what's inside here. Now this is, actually the first thing that I want to talk about is it comes, of course, with this case. Let's show off the name over here. This is the case from Mivitar, and everything comes inside this case. And I must admit, this case is pretty nice because it's very spacious, and there's plenty of room for the softbox, all the accessories that come with it, which I will go over later, as well as some extra room for some extra stuff, which, to be honest, you can always use extra space. So what I want to do is first open this up, and I will show you some of the things inside here. So I'm going to try to show this to the overhead camera too. First, let's start off with the diffusion material. It comes with two types. One over here, which is a little bit more diffuse, it lets a little bit less light through, and this is meant more for photography and helps eliminate soft spots when you actually have it a little bit thicker, a little bit less translucent. And I'm going to put this aside for a second. The next one is a thinner, more translucent diffusion material, and this is actually meant for more video lights or continuous lights if you are using continuous lights with your photography. And it's really nice that they include two of them. The third thing that it came with is this. It's a grid, and this grid over here is really good to help control the spill of light from your softbox. So if you're really trying to make a dark sort of low-key scene, it really helps a lot with only illuminating your subject and not actually illuminating the rest of the room that you are in. So I really like that a lot. So it comes with the grid, and the last thing that it comes with is the softbox over here. This is the softbox. It's red. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna go ahead and put the case aside over here. All right. So this is the actual softbox. So first, let's talk about that this is a deep parabolic softbox, and that is very different from just a regular parabolic softbox. The deep parabolic softbox actually allows the light to be a little bit more directional and also helps soften the light a little bit more. So the fact that it's a deep parabolic softbox is actually really good, because a lot of times some of those deep parabolic softboxes, you end up having to spend more on those versus just the regular parabolic ones. The price on this guy on Amazon is $120 US. So that's a really good price. I must admit that compared to like Westcott, which is a lot more expensive. I'm gonna be going more into the comparison between this softbox and the comparable Westcott Rapid box as well. Let's go ahead and talk about these specs on this. The first thing, let's talk about the size. This is a 35.4 inch softbox when it is fully open, and this has a Bowens mount. So that is a very standardized mount over here that fits onto many different lighting modifiers, or should I say light sources. So if you have like Godox AD600s, then this will fit right on there, which is actually perfect because that's actually what I use. I mean, Bowens mounts are actually really standard, so I'm really glad that it came with one of these. So this is 3.3 pounds or 1.5 kilograms. So the weight is not too bad, but a lot of the weight actually comes in this back over here, which is going to be right over top of your light stand. So it's going to help keep everything nice and balanced. And some of that weight is actually due to the fact that this over here has a central ring that is seriously built like a tank. This, I mean, like just the Bowens mount alone is very thick metal. It's all metal, and the actual central ring that all the rods go into are like, I mean, it's like a good like 3/4 of an inch thick. It is incredibly strong, and when I first opened this, I seriously thought I can drive my car over this and it won't break. Now, don't do that, but I kind of thought it when I got it, because I was like, man, this thing is like just like so beefy, and I love that because that basically means that it's probably gonna last for years and you're never gonna have a problem with it. So when this is fully opened, the distance from the back of this Bowens mount all the way to the edge of the softbox is 24 inches. And as the name says, this is actually more of an umbrella type of softbox. So all the rods are actually built into the softbox. So you don't have to worry about trying to fit them into the central ring and then fit them into the actual softbox itself. It opens up pretty much like an umbrella. And speaking of rods, it has 16 rods inside of it, whereas most other soft boxes or what they call octaboxes, they actually only have 8 rods. So this actually has 16 rods, so it has twice the number of rods. And as I said before, it comes with 2 sets of diffusion material, one for video and one for photography, or if you use continuous lights with photography, then you could also use the same more translucent diffusion material. And the last thing that it comes with is a grid to help control the spell of light. All right, so let's go ahead and go over the things that I like about it. And as I go through the likes and dislikes, I'm gonna be talking about how this compares to the Westcott version of it. Now let me go ahead and bring the Westcott Rapid Box over so I can show you what I've been using. All right, so this over here, gonna show it this way. This over here is the Rapid Box XL. It's 35 inches, so it's pretty much the exact same size. And I bought this over 3 years ago, and it's because this was the only sort of softbox out there that you could open and close really, really quickly. And that was something that I kind of prioritized because I didn't want to have to go out to meet clients all the time and have to fiddle with opening and closing softboxes all the time and have to fit the rods into the central ring and then try to fit them into the softbox. And I'm like, I don't want the setup of a softbox before a client shoot to take me, 5-10 minutes, because that is just gonna be really, really frustrating. So this was the only one on the market and I bought it. And it's worked pretty well for me, but as we go through all my likes and dislikes of the Mivitar one, I want to compare it to the Westcott Rapid Box XL version of it. So first, let's start off with talking about the sturdiness of this. All of the ribs over here are actually all made out of metal, and the hinge mechanism is also metal over here. And let me try to show this to the upper camera over here. So the hinge over here is all metal, and it's very, very sturdy. And actually everything inside the softbox except for the actual soft material is all metal, and it's all very, very sturdy metal too. And I already talked about the central ring and the central ring being extremely, extremely sturdy, which is really, really nice. The next thing that I want to talk about is how much I love the hinged central ring. If you ever bought a softbox in maybe the $60 to $70 price range, chances are it comes with a central ring that is completely separate. And then every single one of these rods comes completely separate as well. And then you have this outer softbox. Now, with those cheaper softboxes, what you have to do is you basically have to fit one rod into a little slot inside the central ring, and then you have to bend it so it actually fits into the little pockets that are actually around the inside of every single one of the edges over here. And when you're trying to do that with with like 4 or 8 different rods, it is extremely frustrating because you really have to like bend these rods and trying to fit it into place. Getting the first one in, very easy. Getting the second one in, a little bit harder, but then as you go further down the line, getting the last one in is almost impossible, and you normally end up ripping the little pockets that the rods sit in. Like they fit into like a little pocket on the edge, and what ends up happening is you're trying to fit that last rod in, and you end up a lot of times ripping the little pocket that the rod sits in, and it's just a terrible design, and it's extremely frustrating to use. So the fact that this doesn't have that is actually amazing, because it means that you never have to worry about that sort of frustration. Now, the question that you probably are asking yourself is, okay, well, it has an umbrella sort of structure. How do you open it? And how fast can you open it? Well, let's first tackle the first question of how do you open it. What you do is you first want to unvelcro these sides over here. And this exposes all the rods. Now what you want to do is you want to then take the rod, lift it up, and then you're gonna see this little button over here. I'm gonna try to show this to the upper camera. You're gonna see this little button click into place, and you're gonna hear it. So let's see if we can hear it. So you kind of saw it, like it goes back, and then when it clicks into place, it comes forward again. So I can show you that again. It goes just like that. And that's how you actually engage the rod. Now, the next question that you have is how fast can you actually set up one of these softboxes? Is it still gonna take a long time, or is it gonna be pretty quick? Well, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and back my chair up, and let's go ahead and see. So I'm gonna back my chair up, and we're gonna see how fast I can actually set this guy up. So let's see, and go. There you go, all set up, all ready to go. That was probably about 20 seconds, maybe less. Oh, I'm gonna scoot back down here again. So you can actually set this guy up really, really fast. I set this thing up in about 20 seconds. If I were going to a client shoot and they were in a rush and I had to set this guy up, I wouldn't be stressing out at all. I can basically set this guy up within about 20 seconds, and I could throw it onto my light, and I am ready to start shooting. So that is really convenient, and it is extremely appreciated. And the teardown is pretty much just as fast. Let's go ahead and show you how you take it down. I kind of showed you a little bit before, but what you do is you just lift up again to release the pressure on the little button, then you push it, and then it collapses, so it pops down like that. And then you can collapse it in the opposite order that you were going through things. Oops, snag the Velcro down there. See, just like that. And the entire thing shuts or collapses very, very quickly. It's not a problem at all. So then you're ready to throw this into your bag, and you are ready to pack up and go home. All right, so let's talk another thing that I like about this softbox. This softbox, let me go and pop this off to the side over here for a second. It comes with 2 sets of diffusion material, as I said before. It comes with one over here, which is more translucent, and this over here is meant for video lights or continuous lights if you like to use continuous lights with all of your photography. And it also comes with one of these over here, which is a thicker diffusion material. It feels really, really premium. And this is meant for more high-powered strobes. So if you have those Godox 8600s that are 600 watt-second lights, this is what you want to use for that. And I like that you have the option. A lot of times, a lot of these softboxes, they only give you one option. It only comes with one. So it's really nice that they included 2 with that. The next thing that I really like about this is the grid. This is the grid that comes with the softbox. And something that I want to show you is that every single one of these, go to more of a middle one to better show this. So every single one of these grids over here, I'm gonna try to show this to the upper camera, is stitched right over here. And when these grids are stitched as opposed to glued together, it basically means that this is less likely to fall apart. This thing is made really, really well. A lot of times when you Velcro this onto the edge of your softbox, when you are ready to go, you just kind of grab the side, just kind of pull it down. Sometimes people grab the center of the grids over here and just kind of like rip it off the side of the softbox. With cheaper grid material, if you do that, you are going to basically tear all the glue bonds in between every single one of these grids. So all these are stitched as opposed to glued, and that is a premium sort of thing that they did for this grid. Now, let's go ahead and talk about how this compares with the Westcott. First of all, the Westcott version of the softbox over here, this is the Rapid Box. The Westcott version of this, it doesn't come with a grid. Now, it supports a grid. It has a lip over here. It has a lip that actually is wide enough to actually hold a grid, and they do make a grid for it, but they did not include that grid inside their kit. So this over here, like the same size softbox with half the number of rods, the Westcott version of it is $298. It's more than twice the price of the Mivitar one, and it doesn't come with the grid. Guess how much the grid costs? The Westcott grid that goes with this softbox, they charge $229 for it. Can you believe that? So, needless to say, 3 years ago when I bought this, I was like, I just can't afford to get the grid as well. It wasn't that much of a priority, and I wasn't gonna spend another $229 when I already dropped $300 on this softbox. So the fact that the Mivitar company included a grid with their softbox is actually a really, really great thing, and I definitely appreciate that, because I don't want to have to make an extra purchase to have to go out and get it. All right, so let's go back to the softbox for a second. The softbox, as I said before, it comes with 16 rods. Something that I really like about this softbox is the fact that it does come with 16 rods. Not only does it make it a little bit more sturdy, but it also makes it so that when this thing is expanded, you actually have more of a circular, light modifier. So let me go and open this guy up again. All right, so, oops, got all these things kind of sticking to the to it. So look at this over here. Look at how round. Let me try to face this over here. Look how round this is. Let me back it up so that you can see a little bit better. Okay. So look at how round this is. This is incredibly round. Now let's compare this with the Westcott version of it. Right here. So this, look at that. It is a octagon. Clearly an octagon. Let me back it up a little bit so you can see it. Clearly this is an octagon. It is not circular at all. And when you are doing photography and you're taking pictures and you actually have the softbox maybe like about this far away from them, and you get the catch lights in the model's eyes. Oops, did not mean to hit that. What happens is that you actually see the shape of that softbox in your model's eyes. And when it is a octagon, you see that it is an octagon. But when you have 16 rods, it's much more circular. So you don't really notice that it isn't actually a full circle. Like, it just looks a little bit nicer, a little bit more professional to me. So let's go on and talk about the next thing, all right? The last thing that I want to mention is that this softbox does actually support 3 levels of diffusion. The first one is it does have inside there, let me go and get the softbox. So inside of here, you will see that there are little Velcro pieces down here. And this allows you to add an inner diffuser if you actually need one. A lot of times you don't actually need an inner diffuser, but if you do want one, you can definitely put one in there. Now, I wanted to let you know that it doesn't come with it, but everything on the documentation, everything on Amazon and the website, it says it doesn't come with the inner diffuser. The inner diffuser. What it comes with is 2 outer diffusers. And so I just wanted to make sure that everyone knew that. So it comes with the video diffuser, the photography diffuser, and then you can optionally add on the inner diffuser. Now, the 3 levels of diffusion is, of course, you can add on the inner diffuser, then you have the outer diffuser, and then the third is adding the grid, which actually really helps control the spill of the light. So I really like that. So in conclusion, let's go ahead and talk about my final thoughts. Let's talk about price. This softbox comes in at $120. And this, I would say, makes this softbox fall into the medium price range. It's not the high price range, and it's definitely not the low price range. It is definitely in the middle. Now, let's talk about the value. This is a $120 softbox that, in my opinion, it plays with the big boys. It plays with all the premium brands out there. It's definitely not cheap in quality because it is extremely sturdy. You saw that the central ring is incredibly heavy duty. It's made out of all metal, and all the rods are very, very stiff. This thing is not going to fall apart. So it's not like any of the cheap $70 softboxes. And I would say that the quality on it is just as good as softboxes in the premium price range, where people are spending $300-400 on a single softbox. So while this softbox falls into the medium price range, I would actually say quality-wise, it falls in the premium price range. And if we were to compare this again with the Westcott Rapid Box XL, you will notice that the Rapid Box XL is $298. Now, if you want to make the equivalent kit to the Mivitar version of it, you need to add that grid on, and that grid comes at $229. So what that really comes out to is a total of $527 if you want to get the Westcott Rapid Box XL along with the grid that's supposed to go along with it. So that's $527. With the Mivitar version of it, you get everything, and it comes at $120. I mean, you do the math on that, right? And we were to talk a little bit more about the quality and compare it to the Westcott Rapid Box XL. Let's first talk about the case. The Rapid Box XL comes with a little thin case, and it has a drawstring on top. I actually don't even have it anymore because the thing was almost useless. I actually just take the Rapid Box and just like put it into my car at this point. Like, I don't even bother with the case because it's so useless. And you couldn't fit anything else inside that case except for the Rapid Box. Whereas the Mivitar case actually has enough space inside it to hold the softbox and holds both diffusion materials, and also holds a grid. Plus there's extra room inside there for you to put extra umbrellas, or maybe even like a small speed light holder, or things like that. There's definitely room inside there for extra things. And having extra space when you are trying to bring things onto a client site is always better than having to make multiple trips out to the car. And as I mentioned before, another thing to talk about is the fact that that the Mivitar softbox comes with a grid, whereas the Westcott version does not. And something that I mentioned before was that the fact that the Mivitar softbox has 16 rods on it to give that more circular sort of catch light is really, really good compared to the Westcott version of it that only has 8, so it's very much a hexagon. So let's actually talk about one thing about the Westcott Rapid Box that is slightly better. The only thing about the Westcott Rapid Box that is a little bit better is that it sets up a little bit faster. I could probably set up the Westcott Rapid Box in less than 10 seconds. So you're talking about maybe a 10-second difference between setting up the Mivitar one versus the Westcott Rapid Box XL. Now, if you actually were to compare the price of the full kit with the Westcott with the grid to the Mivitar one, there is a $407 difference between the two. So you would basically be spending $527 for the Westcott Rapid Box XL with the grid, or you can basically spend $120 for the Mivitar softbox, and that's a $407 difference. Now, the only thing that the Westcott Rapid Box does better is that it sets up about 10 seconds faster. Now, ask yourself, is that 10 seconds really worth $407 to you? To me, I would actually much rather get 4 of the Mivitar softboxes and have it take a smidgen longer to set up than get a single Westcott Rapid Box XL. I mean, like with 4 of them, something you can do is you can have 2 in the car and then 2 in the studio. Because before I got this softbox, what I was always doing is I always have to bring my Westcott softbox out to the car, and then I need to bring it back into the studio, back to the car, back to the studio. I'm bringing it all over the place, and it's very annoying to always have to do this. But for the same price as the Westcott Rapid Box, you can get 4 of the Mivitar softboxes, and you can basically just have some dedicated for client shoots, and you have some dedicated for the client studio. So you don't even have to take it off your lights at the studio. You can just keep them on your lights in the studio, and then you can have a dedicated 2 that can sit in your car ready to go to a client site. So, final thoughts. Should you buy this? In my opinion, yes. Yes, you definitely should. I mean, if I had a choice 3 years ago when I got the Westcott Rapid Box, I'm like, it wouldn't even have been a choice. I would have gone with the Mivitar one in a second. The softbox is extremely good. It's extremely sturdy. It's super fast to set up and tear down. It comes with a grid. It comes with a great carrying case. There's pretty much no downside to this softbox at all. So if you're the type of person that likes to only stick with brand names and you want to basically take your hard-earned $527 and put it towards a Westcott Rapid Box, fine. You know, like, that is totally your call. But if you actually want to get the same level of quality and actually be able to use the rest of the money to buy other things, buy like a new camera lens or more soft boxes to use for other lights, to me, it's no contest. You should definitely buy this light because it just makes sense at $120 for the quality, the ease of setup, and everything that you get with it. So if you have any questions about the softbox, definitely leave them down in the comments. I would love to hear them. I can definitely try and answer as many of those questions as you have. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps out this channel a lot. And until next time, take care.